just land.
Oh, it's just land?
Yeah, me and my family went to Ghana and just purchased like 11 acres of land out there still.
So what's the
I'll
plan?
show you some
what's
pictures,
the plan
yeah.
for the land?
My uncle died, innit? My uncle went to Ghana 6 years ago, you know what I mean? We're from Grenada originally. My uncle went out to Ghana 6 years ago, set up a restaurant. He's an accountant. He's the one that was doing my companies, maybe set up my companies and that. And he went out there, married, and he found our ancestry, you know what I mean, which went back to Ashanti. So we understood now, we went back and said, rah, so...
Oh, so you're Ghanaian originally?
Yeah, like my ancestry, or Jesse, or one of the my middle names is still that Ghanaian name.
Yeah.
So, or something like that, you know what I mean? I'll get it politically correct when I ask my dad again, right, and I'll get back to you. But we found that lineage, and we found out that when we adopted the name Vincent, it was when they was abolishing slavery. You know what I mean? So the two brothers, or Jesse, went to Grenada, you know what I mean? And then that's how we owned a certain amount of land. So when my uncle went back, and I went to Ghana in 2008, that time, and I saw what he wanted to do and what they wanted to do. And
Ik ben benieuwd naar het dorpje Koromanti, waar veel van onze voorouders weggehaald zijn. Daarom moeten wij Stephen Koorsa, die er geboren en getogen is. Koromanti.
This is Komanti, and I'll now take you to see my family. The settlement actually started from the top of the hill, and later they all moved down here. So the real family house is at the top of the hill. But this is where my grandmother settled. And that is my auntie. She comes after my mother. And she is the only one left at home now, you know, of the mother level. The rest are all children, grandchildren, and the like. And that is the daughter of my auntie. And as usual, they're all fishmongers, and the male are fishermen.
Right.
Yes. And this was built by my grandmother. Unfortunately, she's dead. About 2 years ago, she died. And my senior auntie took over. She also died just about 6 months ago. Yes.
Is that stone?
No, this is mud. It's a mud house.
Okay.
Yes. If you look up there, you see that there's a settlement up there on the hill. That's the old township of Komanti. It was actually started by a hunter called Nana Komer. So one day, he went out, and fortunately for him, he killed an elephant. So he followed this elephant all the way from where he killed the elephant to the top of this hill, where the elephant was found dead by him. So he stayed there, built a hut, and started his settlement there. So his people felt he might have been killed by an animal. So they sent a search party with drums. The moment they got nearer to this hill, they saw blood stains on leaves. So they followed the stains, so they got to where the elephant was lying, and there they found him. So like reprimanding him, they remarked, so after all that we've told you, and when you come back home, you've just decided to go your own way. And in the local language, it is Komel Anti Zayaka Choninara. So that remark they made, like Komel Anta, became the name of the village Komanti. We go along this way.
When we drove, you know, I saw Fort Amsterdam.
It was the English who came here first. And with the consent of the natives, they built a fort at where it is. And later it was seized by the Dutch. They named it Fort Amsterdam. So people were carried away from this Fort Amsterdam, especially to the Caribbean islands.
You know, in my country, in Suriname, when they're talking, when people are in spirit, you know, they start speaking Cromanti. That's the highest spirit is there.
That's
you
right.
see.
So,
You know about Suriname? Or no?
yes, I know about Suriname, at least something about Suriname,
You heard
something
about
small.
Winti?
Not to that extent. So we have more information on European countries than about our own brothers and sisters who are sent to the diaspora. And this is about time, perhaps, we have to start linking up. So we know whatever happened there, then we add it to whatever happened here. We also give you whatever happened here, so also add it to whatever happened there. So it become one whole, complete.
Okay.
Because it's now half-half. It have to be one.
But you never been there?
No.
Okay.
No. Maybe someday, sometime.
Okay.
Who knows?
You never know.
What is this? Yeah, that is the Roman Catholic Church in Comanche. Yes, and this is about the oldest of the Christian churches in this village. And that is also one of them. I think there's the Assemblies of God. Also the Pentecost down there. And across the street we have the 12 Apostles. So we've quite a few Christian churches here.
Over there, there's the sea. And from there, the boats came in. We can say that they brought about 100 up to 200 slaves. But in the whole 300 years, what we catch here is about 250,000. 250,000. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of slavery, when they called for emancipation in 1863, 36,000 left. Yes.
But on the whole, we had not less than 60 million Africans being enslaved,
Okay.
with only 12 million successfully crossing the Atlantic.
Now we are turning, going in the Komowine River. And on the Komowine River, there you have the plantations.
Shall I see my home, my home? When shall I see my little heart? I shall never forget mine.
We are about 2 hours now on boat with the motor. By that time, maybe 5, 6 hours rowing.
Yes.
And then they arrived. And when they arrived, then the work starts. We will go to Allianz. It was a former sugar plantation. Yeah. Now in the front, you can see the manager's house. It is a little bit in a bad shape, but imagine what it was during the time of slavery and after that. And here's the place where he stayed with his family. Nowadays they grow citrus, but in those days it was sugar cane.
Because they love sugar and rum, huh?
Well, in Europe for sure,
Yes.
and they could trade it.
Yes.
And with that money they make huge houses in Europe.
But
For
it was the
example-
slaves who worked
That's
to
true.
produce the sugar and rum.
That's true, I agree with you. They had to work 24 hours a day, for example, when it was harvest time. So there was no need to sleep in a house. just to rest a little bit.
Yeah. And in such houses like this?
Like this. It was used for the slaves, yes. A lot of them.
In a row, huh?
In a row, yes. A lot of them. With one entrance. But they worked. It was only work and die. This is a tamarind tree. I think it is more than 200 years old. The tree was used also to bind up slaves on it and then punish them. So we see that there was a lot of hard work, hard labor on the plantation. Mistreating, torture, frustration. And then you can understand that on a certain point, there's no return. That they say, enough is enough. And
So they have to flee.
That's true. They will leave the plantation and look for their freedom, go to the interior and live there like free men, far away. And then they came back to attack the plantation, to put the factories on fire, to take the women with them, and to look for weapons and so on. We are now actually, it's about 200 kilometers from Paramaribo.
The people of Cromanti were warriors. That blood was in them, fighting. On the boat they were fighting, on the ship they were fighting. For the women, they wouldn't allow themselves to be raped. So they better commit suicide by just jumping overboard. And here, when they came here too, they were fighting. So they carried this across.
Maroons, they used the knowledge of the Amerindian very well to adapt the situation. The Amerindians know how to walk in the interior, how to use the plants, and so on. So they got friends, and they formed a front against the oppressors. When the emancipation came in 1863, they left the farthest way in the jungle to come and live nearby the river. So what you can see that at this moment we have a lot of Maroon villages along, for example, the Suriname River. So we are now at Adapai.
Adapai?
Yeah, it is a Maroon, a small Maroon village where you can meet the real Cromanti people of the river. The Cromanti Maroon.
Right.
You can find it.
Yeah, Oscar boy.
This now.
Okay.
I'll go.
Monsieur,
Mama.
come on, Daddy. Si combo.
Mama, how
Beshani. Onyolele. Boto nani ota.
I'm gone.
Agan.
I'm gone.
Say
I'm
gone.
Gone.
Gan. Gan. Bata. Tobete. Sokonidi.
Boko.
Zakadado.
Yes, I've come back.
Satoto.
Yes. I am Kosa.
Bidiam Mumbai.
From Mumbai.
Tatarele Tuanunu.
Katawe Sekawa.
Sakala de Rodida. Besano?
One by no Dawson.
Wow, we called it.
Okay.
Tabadada.
Mantina Himfa.
Tovio Hunter. Now we.
Rebempe Bia Mantina.
Nasaka no. Hold on away.
Martina.
Tata guitar. So, Osakrovenan.
Martina.
Oh, no way. Go. Tiwai.
We still can communicate. You know.
Okay.
And that is wonderful.
Kao.
Mama Goravito, Gorogado, Apite Sukuye.